I'm here with James Wong, the associate producer on Rush-'N Attack Ex-Patriot. Looking at the game here, and this looks really cool. As you know, I'm not a huge fan of the original. I just called it like shank and go, because it's like the waves of enemies just come at you, and you're like, just stab them. And James, what's different with the new Rush-'N Attack?
Well, you know, in the original Rush-'N Attack, like you said, it was kind of shank and go. You just kind of went wave after wave of enemies, you stabbed them and you moved along. You pick up the occasional weapon. We're trying to go a little deeper here, not too deep. You know, we want to retain the fun and the quick pick up and play nature of the original game, but there's a little more depth. So it's still a side-scrolling action game, but we've added stealth kills. So, for example, you know, if you can attack an enemy carefully or sneak up behind him and attack him, then you'll actually get a better score. You know, we're still trying to stick to getting a high score. So we want people, you know, we want friends to cooperate, or excuse me, compete in leaderboards and everything. It takes place across 3 large levels. So the average gameplay time is about 6 to 8 hours, and that's not including the storyline. There is a storyline about this game. So.
James, I thought we should name this guy Paco, after the horse from Vandal Heart's Flames of Judgment, because
I'm very familiar with the horse. I think I was one of the few people who noticed it when we were going over the comps for the art, and I'm the guy who let it slide.
James is the producer on the excellent Vandal Heart's Flames of Judgment, which I just won the other day, by the way. So, oh wait, did I hear you say earlier that there's a flamethrower in Rush-'N Attack?
There is a flamethrower. It's just like the arcade. We do have a flamethrower.
Yay!
You like your flamethrower?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You can't have a video game without a flamethrower. The camera keeps running out of batteries end of the day here. So quick last question for James. When you design a flamethrower into a video game, how do you decide how the people act when they're on fire?
Well, in the case of Rush-'N Attack X-Patriots,
unfortunately, the camera died after a full day of recording at the moment that associate producer James Wong was explaining how characters get lit on fire and react in Rush-'N Attack X-Patriot. Now, I wrote down his answer. After the camera died, he wanted to make sure that everybody knew that when they're lit on fire, they scream as loud as possible and run around in the gnarliest way, which sounds awesome. And the game is a lot of fun. And I want to thank James for spending some time to talk about Rush-'N Attack X-Patriot. He's also the producer, one of the producers on Vandal Heart's Flames of Judgment. So this one's for Paco. James, thank you very much for hanging out, and for everybody else at Konami. And by the way, James Wong is a fan of Classic Game Room, which means that we're all fans of you. So thanks again. Rush-'N Attack X-Patriot looks really cool. It looks a lot like Bionic Commando Rearmed, which is a tremendous game. So I'm very pleased to see that Rush-'N Attack X-Patriot exceeds my wildest expectations. It's gone far beyond just stabbing guys in the stomach repeatedly. So thanks again, James, and thanks again, Konami. Having a good time.